Hello and welcome to the Ladies' #1 Detective Agency. I am your host, Aimée Clark. This is episode number 3 and it's the week of October the 3rd. I'm actually outside on the lake recording this episode, so you might hear some background noise, some water, some birds, angry squirrels, all part of the adventure. So, where it all began? Well, I'm not really sure this is where it literally all began, but it was a turning point. Let's say for the spirit clearing work I was doing. I had met another Reiki Master who had been taught how to do spirit clearings, which was different than the way I had been taught. We actually met at a business meet and greet, and when we were introduced, we both realized that we had met years before. And, at that time, we didn't know that each other was a Reiki Master. Anyway, she became part of our business women's circle, at which time we decided to do some residential commercial house clearings together. I was getting regularly attacked by some pretty negative entities in the work I was doing. Wow, when I think back, a lot has changed since then. Especially in regards to knowing how to better protect myself. Anyway, I had her help me do some of the clearings on me, and because we experience the energies and entities quite differently, we realized that we'd make a good team. So I had a friend who owned a large business with some past employees who had passed away. As well, the culture there was pretty negative, and also the energies, I suppose, as opposed to culture. So I asked if we could come in and check out the workplace when no one was there, and then we would report back what we were experiencing as we went through the place. Lonnie, not her real name, could not only feel them, but she could actually see them, and she would get information about them as well. I could feel their energies. I couldn't see them, thank goodness, because I don't want to. And so we talked to the owner, and he agreed for us to come in on a Saturday. And we were taken on a tour of the building. We went off on our own to do our own exploring. Lonnie got some definite hits and information about the staff who had passed on. And actually, the owner was quite taken aback because very few people knew the history of these people. And as we walked and sensed out the spirits, it was clear that there was a lot of negative energy, forget the entities, that was trapped in the space. And there's always some hitchhikers that make their way in, either with staff or, other people that come into the building. And as we went by one particular section, I came across an old piece of equipment. And as I was standing there, I was getting some really strong energetic hits off of it. And I asked if what was going on with this piece of equipment, and the owner said that it was actually owned by one of the deceased employees. So we talked after we finished doing the tour, we talked to the owner about the process that we were going to use, and we told them that we didn't have to be on site when we did the work. And that's the beauty of this work that we do. It can be done remotely, and quite honestly, I much prefer that. I would not want to be in the space and be open for attack from those energies. So we both went our own separate ways, and Lonnie did her clearing and I did mine. We did them at the same time. And in addition, I also cleared for the owner of the residence just so that he could get a sense of what it felt like before and after, and he was pretty surprised. After we did the clearing, we checked in with the owner, and the person noticed that not only did the energy feel much better and lighter, but the staff seemed much, much happier, and things started to operate and move in a much smoother way as far as jobs and work and equipment, etc. Oh, a loon is calling in the background. My favorite animal. So going back, there's a few reasons why you don't want to do this work in person. And one reason is you don't want to be on site when the entities start to be cleared. And then depending on the type of entity that's in that space, it could be quite intense. Like when I'm doing this work, it's, even though I'm not, for the most part, not participating as the human part of it, the other beings that come in to help us do this work, it can get pretty intense. And I've had to actually be in physical battle with some of these entities. And another reason is something I fondly call interference. It's as if these entities get wind of the work we're about to do. And of course that makes sense. I mean, we're all connected, and, energy is energy, and they have the ability to know. So, and oftentimes things will start to happen a week up to a day before we actually go to do these clearings. And this can range anywhere from the client actually canceling due to some unforeseen event, the client gets sick, there's strange anomalies, they start tripping over things, or to get delays or late arriving for their appointment. Electronics start failing and acting up, just to name a few things. And we will get attacked as well. And the client will often will get interfered with. And I don't want to make anyone afraid, because the interference is not, for the most part, for the clearings I've done, there has been some unpleasantness and uncomfortableness, but never any danger to the client at this point. And what I used to do would be, as soon as we cleared a place, then I would have the clients come in and we would do the clearing on each individual person. We're reasonable. Now, this became quite impossible when we had big, huge commercial spaces to do, or if somebody lived far away. So having that dilemma, well, how do we resolve this? Because really the person has been either living or working in that space, and we need to clear them as well. And even though the process that I use with the Holy Fire energies, or used to use because I don't use it anymore, was helping to clear the person, it just didn't seem to do the deeper work that I felt had to be done for the clients. So I came up with my own process, did a lot of research, and then of course over the years, especially working with Bill, between the two of us, our energies really started to get stronger, our fields got stronger, we were better protecting ourselves, and we found that for the most part we could actually clear everybody at the same time that we were doing the residential or commercial clearing. And some of the interference can actually come after we do the clearing, and it's because now we've stuck our hands in the hornet's nest, and now they're coming for us. But usually it's just minor stuff. We've had some pretty crazy things happen to us, but I'll save those stories for another time. And and some of those interferences, just kind of give you an idea. Sometimes it's just, then things all seem to go wrong the next day, or electronics don't seem to work. Sometimes they will use other people and just kind of activate them to cause upset in our lives or disturbances. There's it can come in many different forms. So that was where it all began. And Lonnie and I were actually going to, we were on the same boat as far as the paranormal shows and everything out there. And sorry if you are an avid watcher or one of the people that produces these shows. I know it's really interesting and exciting. However, what disturbed us the most is you would go in and disturb all those energies and entities, and then they wouldn't get cleared. Leaving, it's not good for the structure where these entities are in, not good for anyone who's coming in contact with them. But especially for the earthbound spirits, they need to be transited out. And there are lots of different methods to do that. Some of them I found are quite effective, others are not. I like our process only because it's connected to aspects of the Reiki and Earth-light energies that are important to me, which is making sure that it's always for the highest good, and we're connecting to divine source, universal energy, God source, whatever you want to name that, whatever label is comfortable for you. And also that, I already said that, for the highest good of all. So they just have to be, the key thing is to transmute them out. Things like smudging, really good to clear negative energies. You can use chimes, you can use bowls. That's really good for stuck or just the negative energy aspects. However, if you actually have beings that are in your space, and or earthbound spirits for that matter, then they do need to be transited out. They don't belong there. And there's lots of things that you can do on your own if you come in contact with these energies or entities. And I'll leave some tips below, if I can, in the comments section, just so you don't have to pause to write anything down. But here are a couple of good examples. If you feel an energy coming into your space and around you, and you sense it, you can just ask them if they're there for your highest good. And if they aren't, they have to leave, and they have to leave now, in a command voice. And another thing you can do is you can ask them to repeat after you. Can you say, I am God, I am sovereign, I am free? They can't if they're not there for your highest good, if they're negative energies. Now, how will you know if you can't actually have a conversation with them? Well, some people can, I suppose. Well, what you can do is just go inward and get a sense of what that is. Or if you still feel the energies around, you know that they're good. Or if you still feel that negative aspect, even though you've asked them to do that, then you may actually have to get them cleared. So the key thing here is they do not have permission to be here. They do not have permission to bother us. And we can tell them to leave. We can command them to leave. And as you're going to hear, as I stated earlier, have some stories where they didn't leave, and then we had to come in and do the clearings. So I hope that was helpful, and I look forward to chatting with you again soon. Have yourself a fabulous day.